In a little village close to Hungary's border with Ukraine, a whistleblower and former Fidesz insider is campaigning for a seat in the European Parliament. But Péter Magyar's long-term ambition is much larger. He wants to oust Viktor Orbán from power. It's not an easy job to win supporters here. The rural areas are a stronghold for Orbán. But a turnout this size on a rainy day is still an achievement. And in the cities, Magyar knows he's bringing in crowds and telling them what they've long wanted to hear.
The system is complex, and the people are fed up with the corruption, with the propaganda, with the lies, with the secret service. So it's quite a hybrid regime. But I still think, and I'm quite sure that in an election it is possible to defeat the Fidesz and Viktor Orbán.
Magyar speaks publicly about government interference in a judicial case, and he does so with some authority. He was married to the previous Justice Minister, Judith Varga, and knows the strengths and weaknesses of the system. He also knows what a state capture operation looks like when populists are in charge.
The main problem in Hungary, the Russian-style propaganda. You know, in 5 years, the Orbán government spent more than 1,300 billion forint for propaganda. We have a Ministry of Propaganda in 2024 in Europe, in the European Union. We don't have a Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. We don't have a Ministry of Environment, but we do have a Ministry of Propaganda. It's a bit funny, but rather strange, I think, in the European Union.
And what about the capture of state institutions, like the police, the security services, the press? Everything is captured?
Yeah, everything is led by a Fidesz guy or an ex-Fidesz guy. The Court of Auditors, the Constitutional Court, the President, everybody, of course. It was the idea of Mr. Orbán, I think, from 2010 to rule everything and everybody, all the position. So now there is no balance of power in Hungary. The only existing power is the Fidesz. This is a power factory, the so-called power factory, with economic power, with political power, with secret service power, with police, with everything.
With all that power, is he really going to let himself be voted out of office?
That's a question. I really hope that something still there from the democratic hero in Prime Minister Orbán, and he will let us take over the power if we will have the mandate from the Hungarian people. It will be a long run, not a short fight, and it will be difficult.
It will take more than some glad-handing on a rainy day to push the Orbán machine through the exit. But how was it possible to let a single leader take over an entire European state for so long? And could it happen elsewhere? There's a reason why people might turn to the right, isn't there? There's widespread discontent in Europe with politics and outcomes, not just migration. A report to the EU Commission in February talked about a broad geography of discontent. Declining regions, many small cities, towns and rural areas have a sense of despair, not just limited to economic hardship, but also to a feeling of being politically disenfranchised, socially alienated. You have sympathy with them?
Absolutely. But allow me to come back to this leadership question, because look to Macron and Scholz. Macron has currently in the polls with his party around 17% in France. Socialist Scholz is doing with 16% in Germany at this moment of time. That are the two top leaders of Europe. And that worries me a lot, because we are lacking real leaders who have the support of citizens.
How crucial are the coming European elections to democracy in Europe?
I have to tell you that these elections will have a decisive power for the future years and the way we live, defend, make business in Europe. And so these elections are very crucial, and these elections are necessary to protect. I think that if not only the far right, but the political powers, including the new members of the parliament, will destroy the unity of the European Union, then the EU will weaken. we have to be strong now, because we have a lot of new challenges and enemies outside of Europe which have influence inside.